it. We are joined by Jeff in Restream. How you doing, mate?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Oh, good, thank you. Not in the mood for anything right today, but I'm here. Sometimes you get that those days you just don't feel like doing anything.
That's right.
Yeah. But it's good to see you all here in YouTube land. Please hit the likes, share the show. Really, really do appreciate it. Let everybody know there's a show tonight. This is part 2. If you missed part 1, yeah, go and watch it, definitely. Allan Northstrand, I just got to put this up on screen. I got rid of 16 stock accounts on my channel and lost 100 subscribers. Talk about stalking and trolling. Yep, I can't begin to tell you how many times that has happened to me. I think many of the accounts are linked to each other or something. So as soon as you ban the one, then it decides, okay, let's get rid of the other stock accounts. People are sad, very sad individuals indeed.
Yeah.
Exactly. Who wants them anyway? Nobody wants stock troll accounts, so
No.
get rid of them. It's for the better, definitely. Okay, I got to, before we carry on, I got to fix some error up we had last night. Remember? Do you remember? I mean, I got to show this quickly. Last night, we were looking up the length of Departure train, the bridge. And somehow I came up about 8,700 meters, even though I thought just that doesn't sound right, but I just played with it anyway. This is what I typed in, Lake Pontchartrain bridge length, and this is what it gave me, 8,700 meters. Apparently that's wrong. So they corrected me and told me Lake Pontchartrain is actually 23.8 miles long or something. So I'm going to say, sorry guys, I got that wrong. It wasn't 8,700 meters. Just had to correct that. Although it still doesn't work for a globe, even though people wanted to. I even got Walter Bislin up, just so people can see for themselves. I put the new values in, the 38,302.4 meters, zero refraction, just like we did last night. Target is 10 meters, and observer height 0.001 meters. And it doesn't fit your radius of your globe, guys. How big is the globe supposed to be again?
The radius is 3959.
And Lake Pontchartrain is supposed to be the whole radius now. Doesn't make sense. But yeah, so that's one thing I did get wrong was 8,700 meters, but everybody makes mistakes. I don't know why that popped up that anyway. So anyway, let's move back on. Are you guys ready for part 2? Yeah. We do have Taboo Conspiracy up again. Oh, PJ's just popped in. Yeah, PJ.
Yo, how you doing?
You see the noodle head in?
A little noodle nut. Nice.
The noodle.
Yeah, it was just at the meeting. Michael says he would have joined, but his mum's and that, so he's not joining tonight.
Yeah.
Cool. He says.
Cool. I mean, she's locking him up in the basement, so.
Yeah.
That's right, man. That's right. It's like when I went to visit Michael, I had to get locked up in the basement with him. You know what I mean? When I went to visit him, Michael didn't have his own house or anything like that. He lived with his mum in the basement with his girlfriend and PJ in the basement for a few nights. You know what I mean? Some people, man. And that was a certain person that said at the same time that we weren't very convincing with our arguments because our girlfriends ain't flat earthers. Now, for a start, Michael's mum's a flat earther. Vicky's now a flat earther. You know what I mean? So I think our arguments were convincing enough, don't you?
Yeah, I think it works.
Yeah.
I don't know if we should cover some of this. I don't know if you saw the post from Taboo Conspiracy today about the video he put up on Mark Sargent.
Right. What did he say?
Apparently, a lot of his subscribers he's not impressed with his subscribers because they're all calling Mark a
Shill.
shill.
Yeah. I mean,
although-
when I seen the video, I certainly thought he seemed genuine in it, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah,
I
that's what I
still
said.
have red flags, but
Yeah,
I
that's
think he
exactly
sounded
my
genuine.
thoughts. I saw Mark in that video looking like he's genuine.
Yeah.
But there's just still so much other things that just plague,
Yeah, the gambling video saying the moon's not real. That's. I mean, I know people are genuine that actually believe the moon's not real, but come on, with a bit. If as a flat earther, the stuff you know as a flat earther, you should know that if you think the moon's not real, then you think it's a simulation, surely, or something like that, or they've put something up there somehow. The moon's real. It's just not. It's just not a bloody rock in a vacuum, you know.
Yeah. But as
Yeah, I understand. I understand. He did sound genuine to me, but I still have doubts. You know what I mean?
look, I have called him a shill in the past, but I'm just not
Yeah.
really that sure anymore. But the thing that just
Yeah.
keeps me more on that side is he's very trying to be mainstream orientated.
He is. He wants
that's kind of weird.
TV. Yeah, he wants to be in mainstream TV, doesn't he? That's worrying, definitely.
But maybe he's not meaning it in a bad way. You know what I mean? Maybe he's
No.
turning it for something. But every time they're doing this, oh, my mic just fell. Every time they're doing this, it's, I don't know, isn't it doing more harm than any good? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he might honestly think he's doing good, but it's a coincidence that harm keeps happening. I don't know. Like I say, I'm still a bit wary of it, definitely. But especially after I found out that the gambling things and stuff like that, the gambling adverts and the moon thing. I didn't know he thought that about the moon, but like I say, I didn't know he was still doing flat earth stuff. I hadn't had. I knew he'd done bits and pieces, but I've never been subscribed to Matt, so I didn't think he was still doing stuff like that. And he does still lean into conspiracy theories, just not as much as he used to. But that's how he came across flat earth, which is how I came across flat earth, through conspiracies, even though it's not a conspiracy, it's fact, it's truth. You know what I mean?
Look, I still do
Yeah.
agree that Mark is very good for the newcomers into FE.
Definitely.
He's done some great work with that. But once you've got into FE, I don't think he's the guy you should be able to, I don't know, carry on. But anyway, yeah, Jamaica Wombat says, let's carry on with the conversation. I agree. We're going to carry on with this. Okay, Taboo Conspiracy and another one. 830 miles world record flat earth proof. Whoop, whoop.
Hello, everyone. I first wanted to thank Scott from Israel for sharing this information with me. I hope you find this evidence as exciting and compelling as I do. In short, this is another world record proof of the flat earth. This evidence alone ends the globe. The world record comes from this website called The Things Network. I'll have a link in the description. As the title states, this was a LoRa radio transmission at a whopping distance of 830 miles or 1,336 kilometers. For those who do not know, LoRa is actually becoming a very important method of communication, and it also has tremendous potential for long-distance flat Earth testing. Here's a quick video clip describing what LoRa is.
LoRa stands for long range, and it's a relatively new communication standard targeting low power, long range, low bitrate communication.
Ooh.
So it's really finding applications in Internet of Things, remote sensors, anything that requires low power consumption.
I think LoRa has also got to do with line of sight, as far as I know. So it's impossible to work on a globe if there's curve in the way. Because it's low power frequency, guys. Uh-oh. Long range, low bit rate.
A moderate to low bandwidth.
LoRa is in the ultra-high frequency, UHF, radio bandwidth, between 860 to 930 megahertz. It is important to note that UHF does not, even allegedly, bend with the curvature of the Earth. In fact...
Shh, don't tell that to Dave McKeegan. So he's going to go out and say, "Oh, diffraction."
Sorry, I got rudely interrupted by work. So
Yeah, how dare you be at work when we're talking here?
I know.
According to this website, LoRa is line of sight. According to the article,
Line of sight.
LoRa's range depends on radio line of sight. Radio waves in the 400 to 900 megahertz range may pass through some obstructions, depending on their composition, but will be absorbed or reflected otherwise. This means that the signal can potentially reach as far as the horizon,
Ooh.
as long as there are no physical barriers to block it. In other words, LoRa communications end at the alleged globe geometric horizon. But this world record LoRa communication was at a distance of 830 miles.
Insane.
What makes this even more remarkable is that the LoRaWAN trackers were placed on a fishing boat and a buoy.
Okay. That fishing boat, okay. How high is that receiver? Not that high. A few meters.
No, about about 20 foot high, maybe at the most.
How
Yeah,
high
15,
would it
20
need
foot.
to be on a globe to go over 1,000 kilometers over the curve?
I think it would tip the boat over.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Be top heavy. It'll be too off balance. I mean, look at the side, how high those buoys is. That's not really very high either. So they got quite an issue.
Yeah.
Here are the pictures. This world record communication occurred at almost sea level. Assuming an observer height of 20 feet, that gives us a globe target hidden height of 448,550 feet.
Oh, that's bad. 85 miles of hidden. I don't think
Wow.
Dave McKeegan's diffraction is going to save him this time.
No.
But
Yeah.
but gravity.
Oh, wow.
Or 85 miles. At only 20 feet, the signal from the boat should have been blocked by the supposed Earth's bulge at around 5.5 miles.
It's crazy.
There is only one reasonable conclusion. The Earth has no curvature. The Earth is...
Aiden says the transmitter is at 38 kilometers altitude. No, it's on a fishing boat, man.
What the heck is wrong?
Literally just showed it on a fishing boat. Where's this
Dude,
guy at 38 kilometers altitude?
What? What?
38 kilometers? What?
Yeah, that's what?
Is he like? I guess he's both blind and deaf.
What? That's insane. I don't know if he's trolling.
Wow, this is what on earth? That's some mass that.
Maybe he's joking, guys.
Yeah, I would say so. He's got to be.
And it can't be that we can't resolve the bottom 6 foot of objects 3 miles away because of limits to our vision,
Oh, yes, it
because that would then mean that we couldn't resolve the bottom 6 foot of any object that's 3 miles away. And yet we can resolve the bottom 6 foot of a plane when...
The plane, you are looking up. A boat, you are looking straight. There is water on the ocean when you're looking horizontal with boats. What exactly are you looking to a plane, guys?
Just
Last time I
air,
checked-
maybe some moisture in the air.
Yeah.
I guess gases are gases are transparent, but you know.
Yeah, a bit of atmo, bit of cloud. You know what I mean? Bit of wetness. Looking through stuff.
Oh, and probably some chemtrails.
Yeah. Certainly some of them.
Aiden James says the boat isn't transmitter. No, it's a receiver. That's what I asked. But how do you get the transmitter 38 kilometers up? It's a bit odd. Alan. But yeah, Dave McKeegan. I think there's a whiteboard here somewhere. There should be.
Ooh, we're doing a Mikey Smith now.
If I can find it. There we go. Now I need a whiteboard marker. I don't know what's so hard to understand about this, but apparently it's very hard for a globetrotter to understand when you look up, it's different from looking straight.
Are we looking down on the plane or up at the plane?
Up.
Oh, we're looking up. Right. My eyes are just deceiving me at the second.
What did they do with the whiteboard marker? Ah. Sorry, guys. I don't
Better
know.
be sorry.
When you get children, you just...
Sorry, sir.
Okay, you know what? Leave the board. Let me just try and explain it like I can again. When you are looking up at a plane, okay, so you're looking upwards, your whole field of view is the sky, and you got that plane inside that field of view. So why would you expect not to see the bottom of the plane when you're literally looking straight at the bottom of the plane? When you look out at a boat on the ocean straight ahead of you, it's in water. It's literally on top of water. The hull is submerged in water. It's displacing the water. The further out it goes, the angle changes. You still see water because water's angle starts from your eyesight straight out. Get it? What's the large angle? The water. I don't know. It's very simple stuff.
When it's 3 miles away, no problem. We don't just see half a plane suddenly cut off.
That's
because there is no ground to compress your bottom visual angle while looking at objects in the sky.
There we go.
It's not until they reach your visual horizon that things will be cut off from your view. It's time you learn this, Dave.
So
Exactly.
this is across a lake nearby.
Yeah, life is
which,
short.
on a perfectly clear day.
And this is what I'm happy we're getting into. Life is short. Awesome job. Shout out to Life is Short. Look at this demonstration he's doing, Globies. This is exactly what we're saying. You're limiting your angle. Okay, he's going to have it on a clear, level, flat lake. And notice, this isn't far enough to even give curve. But look what he's able to demonstrate.
Decent weather, and it's about 410 feet across to the other side, where there'll be a piece of debris that you will see here in a minute. So I'll go ahead and play. So I'm lowering my iPhone from about a 2-foot height down to just where the water ripples, and that's just when the casing on the iPhone just barely touches the water. Right there. So the camera is inverted. It ends up being about a ½ inch above the water. This is zoomed in. You can see the white piece of debris by the bench to the lower left of the bench.
You can see there.
Across the way. So you'll see there.
The guy's going to vanish now, guys.
And I haven't even touched the water yet. There, I've touched
Whoopsie.
the water, and it's back again. So I decided to put some measurements to this, which we'll discuss in a minute. I also want you to note that piece of white debris right there in the center of the frame that is very nearby, around 15 feet away, and how close that gets to the horizon as we lower our phone down.
So yeah, it's very simple, guys, and I is showing the messages. Yes, Aiden, thank you for admitting you were wrong, mate. We all make mistakes, just like I showed in the beginning of the stream. We make mistakes, mate. Okay, so anyway, Deborah's missing, Deborah's present. Notice there should be no curve. It's very simple stuff. If you guys haven't watched Life is Short presentations, we're going to go through them still. Like I said, it's going to be a nice long series. So I think it's education that the Globies need to learn.
So these are some still shots from what I just showed. So again, distance is 410 feet, and that near field debris is the red arrow in the left picture there in the low aspect of the frame. And then as I at about a 2-foot observer height, and then at about a 0.5 inch observer height, you can see how high in the field that piece of debris got near the purple mirror inflection point or horizon line of this image. So again, keep in mind that if this is, let's say it's 10 to 15 feet away, and the distance between myself and the debris on the other side is 410 feet, that I am cramming 400 feet of information between the red tip of that arrow and the purple horizon line, which is a lot of information. And so what ends up happening is that your horizon shortens all along the lower field, and whatever is there disappears into the essentially a gap that's formed. So again, this is just a typical photo with a iPhone camera about 6 feet off the water, and I am basically looking at a cresting wave, which you can see in the zoomed out photo. You don't even need to be zoomed in. You can see the little white dot that the arrow is pointing to in the middle of the frame, and then zoomed in, you can see it a little bit better. But how far is that cresting wave, do you think? So when you analyze this, you find that it's essentially about a half mile away.
What happens when you always get McToon and things asking, when is Flat Earthers going to present math?
Yeah.
What's the screen right now, guys?
Yeah.
Huh. Really odd stuff.
Angles, numbers. Yeah. A little mathematics there for you guys.
See, McToon, this is how perspective is, quote unquote, you can say calculated, not his orthographic view. That
I want to address what Aiden James is saying in the chat.
Okay.
The tropospheric ducting, as you're talking about, is refraction, apparently. And there's no refraction with VHF frequencies.
Nope.
Like not enough for that distance.
At high frequency. And this is high frequency. I think it's to 900 megahertz.
Yeah, what he's trying to argue there is not correct.
No, it's not. VHF doesn't get propagation through refraction exactly.
No. There you go. One mind, one spirit.
So I think they should stop listening to Dave McKeegan.
Yeah.
Each halving of a frame puts twice the amount of information in the next halving. So you can...
Tropospheric ducting affects all frequencies. Do you even know what tropospheric ducting is, Aiden? Also, last time I checked, nobody's actually proven there is such a thing as a troposphere, is there?
No, definitely not.
They do have it in their belief system of a heliocentric model, but that doesn't mean it actually exists.
You can look at the 50% numbers on the side. You can look at the amount of information that I'm cramming into each subsection. And again, the proof of this you can find when I analyze the hallway footage. And you find that in, again, the lower 1/4 of the image, I have 9 feet, and then it goes 18 feet, 36 feet, 72 feet, and it doubles each time. And by the time you get to the arrow point, it's only about a half mile, which means that if I'm a 6-foot observer and I see 3 miles, that I'm cramming 2.5 miles between the very top black line and the purple line horizon. which is quite a lot of information to be crammed in such a small space.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
I
not going
love
to go through this in too much detail. I want this to be short. Just remember that as you lower your eye height, you're cramming more and more information into a smaller space, and it gets lost. So, but it remains 50% of your vision. So the floor is still 50%, even though you're not seeing as far along the floor. So what happens to that information in the distance? It disappears essentially into this, what I'll term, I guess, a horizon gap.
And you saw that's exactly what you saw there. You see, as he's lowering in eye in level, can you see how the ground is rising more and more relative to eye level? It's going compressed. It's sort of elongating. You see that angle gets more and more compressed to the so-called horizon line as you're getting smaller. So the lower you're getting, the higher the ground is seeming to look towards the camera. And therefore everything is crammed into that vanishing zone, and that's how you get bottom-up obstruction. Because if you don't believe me, this is at his highest elevation. Look how more compressed it is when it gets a bit lower and it's close to the purple line. And when it's totally on the ground, you can't see that light anymore. That reflection's gone. And it's literally in the compressed zone.
And again, more information on this you can find on my channel or with the discussion with Jaronism. Same thing here. Again, at different heights, you can see how I'm compressing different information. So when I'm 8 foot tall, the ceiling is getting compressed. And as I get down to 1 foot tall or 0 feet, or essentially half a centimeter off, the floor is getting compressed. And this is just an aspect of how our vision works. It has nothing to do with curvature. So these spacings, again, just to reiterate, they are spacings along regular intervals that were measured, and you can see how that information changes as I alter my height to them. More and more information gets compressed into smaller spaces. And this is just taking them away from the photos to analyze them. And then putting kind of a side-on view, which again doesn't really exist, but just allows you to...
Yes, Globies, this is a bit boring for you guys because you don't understand what's happening on screen. But it's very simple. The information shown is when you drop in elevation, the angle gets more compressed. So in other words, bottom-up obstruction because too much information. AKA we reach the diffraction limit. Rayleigh's criterion's a thing.
kind of conceptualize things a little bit easier. And some more math on how the floor tiles worked, the spacing along the lights, and how all the mathematics works out essentially to give us this halving phenomenon between each iteration of a frame. And this is at different heights, and again, how you see different aspects within each halving of an image. And how this phenomenon might allow for bottom first disappearance as the horizon along the lower field shortens, and we do not see as far along it. And what ends up happening is we form this gap of sorts in our vision. If we are close to the ceiling, let's say, and it were flat, we would have a gap along the ceiling, and we wouldn't see as far along the ceiling, but we would see as further along the floor. And the vice versa occurs when we are closer to the floor.
Whoa. Aiden thinks Jeff is making things up.
Who's making up stuff? Making
Last
up your own version of
Jeff works with...
Jeff. Jeff ain't making anything up. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Making your own version of science.
Hey, DJ DTC, man. Oh, what? It's crazy.
No,
How
Vicky said
dare
it.
you, Jeff? How dare you make things up which you work with every day?
Your
Yeah.
Majesty.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm making things up all the
Thanks,
time, right?
Make up your own science, Jeff.
Yeah, that's right. And that's also why I also wrote that Wikipedia channel that Aiden was looking up about tropospheric ducting, and it pictures that it shows the radio reflecting off this warm air, which I think is a load of garbage. It's just
It
their
is.
way of trying to explain away something that actually is physically done, because the Earth is flat. It is not curved. It goes in line of sight. It does not reflect off of warm air, which is a load of bunk.
Yeah, and
Sorry.
you know the funny
All
thing
this-
is, the funny thing is they can't even demonstrate that.
That's it.
Exactly. You can't like they sit there and say, oh, this is what happens. And people go, oh, well, Wikipedia says that, so that must be true. Right. And then you can't prove it. It's like, okay, show me this. Show me how this works. Just do it. And then when something goes line of sight and they go, oh, look, it's doing it. Well, really? You can actually physically see the radio waves reflecting off of this warm air. No, sorry. Doesn't work that way.
Nice. Yeah, but you see, that's the issue the globe has. It's why they have the God of the gaps argument. Because every time they get shown wrong, they have to make an excuse for it. Instead of just conceding, okay, wait, we've been wrong, they just make an excuse why it's there. Why it's
that's their only reason for God, isn't it? If they can't explain it with science, inverted quotes, then they blame it on God. You know, it must be God because science doesn't explain it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it
Their
makes so much
science.
sense. It's like an atheist who claims to not have a belief in God, but he hates God.
Yeah.
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 No.
How can you hate something that doesn't exist?
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's logical, guys.
Ceiling. And my point with this is that we are always, when we are outdoors, closer to the floor than we are to the ceiling. So as I lower myself in this perspective here, and I have a light visible across about 400 feet or so, or 500 feet of distance along a hallway, you can see that the light is visible at first, and then as I lower myself, how perspective changes, and how at a certain point the light is no longer visible. And these are just everyday examples you can do on your own. So if we change our, if we go from a hallway into an outdoor setting and we just change our horizon distance, there's no reason why this isn't a different aspect of perspective. It's the same exact thing. We're just outdoors. And instead of looking at a flashlight, we are now looking at a cruise ship or a boat or something else going over.
But I just got to actually say that with this as well, when you're looking over like far distances, like in the ocean, you have to take more into account lensing effects, because you do have the refraction, you do have the magnifications and lensing and everything, so it will be more pronounced.
You know what's going to start happening next is that they're going to start saying that gravity is bending the light around the Earth, and radio waves and all of that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah,
because they will have no other rebuttal for that.
Have you heard of the word gravity? Okay, show us gravity actually doing something. Oh no. Have you seen an apple fall? It's just circular reasoning with these guys. No matter how much time we try and explain to them that gravity doesn't even exist, they just don't understand. They literally just, I don't know, it's like they get into some kind of weird trance. And they go into like some weird mode where they have to just parrot over and over and chant. Gravity's real.
Of course.
What we believe is a physical horizon, but is nothing more than an apparent position of our vision and how our vision works along flat surfaces. So same thing again, I'm in here in a Walmart, and then no light is visible. I'm along the floor, so there's no reason to believe why this aspect of vision would change if I were to remove the walls and the ceiling of this Walmart.
I was going to ask, this flooring that for Walmart, is it the type of concrete?
It'll probably be linoleum, like a bit of that that linoleum
tiles,
on top of concrete.
Yeah, but it lies level though. It lies
Oh,
flat.
sure does.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now with
So
that
that's-
self-leveling concrete.
Yeah, so it's definitely not curved.
No.
Oh, okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Alan says Apple equals gravity. What does an orange? Black holes. Black holes. Orange proves
An
black
orange-
holes.
An orange is like what's that the annoying orange or whatever. Hey Apple.
Oh yeah.
The orange is that. He's making fun of gravity.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Orange juice is gravity.
Yeah, of course.
And
Because you wouldn't be able to squeeze it. You wouldn't be able to squeeze an orange without gravity, would you?
Up, it would be the same exact phenomenon, but just occur further and further away. There's no reason to believe that this is curvature. So I just do that here. I remove the walls and the ceiling. I'm still on the floor, and then I extend my floor, let's say, to become some crops or something like that. It doesn't matter. And now I'm just looking at a tractor going off into the distance, and it disappears as well. So here's the footage with some more exact measurements, and this is just later in the day. And so you can see kind of what occurs along this flat surface. And I'm calling it flat because by...
Exactly, Spuddy. My experiment. I mean,
yeah, oranges are going to be carved. Your experiment proves it.
you know what's the
Definitely.
irony of that experiment? I still get the Glovers today not understanding this. They're not understanding when they say, well, you changed the volume. It's displacing. It's like, no shit, Sherlock. That's the whole point. When I changed the volume, I chose displacement changes, so relative density disequilibrium, not gravity then. They still don't get it.
Cogdis.
Exactly.
globe standards, this is a flat surface. Essentially no bulge is apparent across 400 feet, but yet we have an issue here. So please watch.
Okay, here we are at the lake. It's a nice clear night, perfectly still waters. I'll put the coordinates on Google for where exactly I am across this lake.
No, why do you have an echo? Now the Globies are going to say this is edited. They're going to say you lied. They're going to say you took frames out.
Yeah.
And the distance of the light height, the distance of the light height, and the iPhone height. Bye.
So here we are, we're taking it at 2.5 inches just to be in the middle of the light. Here's the setup. And there, I'm just barely touching the ground, touching the wire. You can see the ripples just starting.
Just look at the light there,
case
guys,
just
how it
touches
vanishes
the water.
as it goes down.
There's no
There we
immersion
go.
of the camera or anything under
again.
the water.
Gone. Uh-oh.
Here it is zoomed in
There's the light.
in a still shot.
Gone. Bottom up
Same
obstruction. There it is again. It's gone. There it is again.
Slow motion.
Whoopsie. That's what you call the diffraction limit, people. Now what's got the larger angle? Check there. I'm going to pause it right here. Can you see the bottom of the light has disappeared? First. the bottom of that light has disappeared first. What are we seeing, which is the larger angle there? The water.
Yeah, of course.
So according to the diffraction, to the Rayleigh criterion, the maxima of the larger angle will be more visible.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to explain this so many times to the globe people, it's just can't get through to them. So what you're seeing here is literally diffraction limit. And because the maxima of the water is larger than the maxima of the light source from that light, it has diffracted over it, and only one is resolvable, which would be the water. And if you went even lower, the light disappears altogether. Why? Because all you can resolve is the water itself due to the angle's limitations. This on screen here, actually, guys, literally debunks every argument ever made against bottom-up obstruction by globers. Don't even need to go further. When they ask, demonstrate it, there's your demonstration. Look at that. That's so beautiful.
See the autofocusing occurring. And I stopped it here so you can see kind of that there appears to be basically.
And as soon as he rises again, what's going on? It's appearing from top to bottom. Just like you'd expect.
A hard line on this frame.
There's a clear cutoff from the bottom up, and it's very abrupt.
Yeah, very abrupt, just like that. There we go. Whoopsie.
And again, just some more slow motion of the other times that I went up and down.
I guess Aiden gave up.
I don't think we need to be any more clearer than that, do we?
No.
I mean, I can with all confidence just say, why are you still globers?
Yeah.
Why do you see this and still think to yourself, it's Earth curve? Why?
Silly, isn't it?
So these were the distances. So again, 0.1 to 0.2. I basically sat there for about 2 or 3 minutes and allowed the positioning system to identify where I was before I pinpointed each point. And that's very accurate for at least where I was. So could it be a few feet off one way or another? Sure. But roughly it's about 400 feet at least. Again, you can see the measurement of my iPhone case to the center of the camera, and it is about half an inch. And you can see that I took the 2.5 inches for the height of the light, which was being generous. I didn't do the top of the light, which the whole light disappears, but I'm just going to do the middle of the light. And so some still shots again, as I'm about 1.5 feet off the water, you can still clearly see the light.
The measurement.
That measurement, the ruler, he says it's half an inch. It looked like 1.5 inches to me.
Let's go back quickly. I can check.
I'm just looking at it going, half inch?
Yeah.
Like, look at the ruler. There's a 1 inch right there.
Yeah, that looks like almost 1.3.
Or 1.5 almost. It's almost 1.5.
1.5, yeah.
It's under 1.5, yeah. He maybe just said it by mistake. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah, that's...
Oh, no, but he's actually, he's typed it there. Yeah. I didn't notice that. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, that's an error.
Yeah.
It is.
But anyways, I just thought I'd point that out.
It is an error, yeah.
Not that it's going to make much of a difference, though.
No.
No.
Oh, wait. Is that centimeters? Yeah, it is. Sorry, that's 1 cent. Yeah, so it is half.
Inches is on top. Centimeters is the bottom.
Sorry.
Millimeter.
My bad. I just noticed the mm there. Yep. Okay, he's right.
Yeah. It's because it's blue. It's because it looks blown up as well. Because it's actually in where we're seeing it, it's bigger than an actual centimeter. How we're seeing it, it looks like an inch, doesn't it? Where we're seeing it on screen. So, well, how I'm seeing it on screen, it actually looks like
you
physical inch.
Americans! Damn you Americans! And
Yeah.
working in this funny stuff. Come on, man. Just work it normal.
About 1.5 feet off the water, you can still clearly see the light, and you can see a little bit of reflection on the water with the light, but the light is still visible. And then as I am 0.5 inches off, there is clearly no light visible whatsoever. And then in the bottom of I just took some still shots of how that, when it was autofocusing, and you could see the halo, and how that halo definitely appears to be cut off bottom first. So what should we be seeing if we were to be living on a globe? If this phenomenon right here is because this water is curved, and curved water is what obstructs our vision of things beyond a horizon, a physical horizon, then what should we be seeing? Well, the short answer is that we should be seeing this entire light. There should be no loss. And so the drop essentially should be about 0.004 feet, or about 0.048 inches, or which comes out to about 1.22 millimeters. And if you know how big a millimeter is, that's extremely small. And we are definitely far more than 1.22 millimeters with that light above the water.
Yep. In other words, if we have to play this in very simple terms to the globe defenders, there shouldn't be any Earth curve for that distance. Yet we see bottom-up obstruction, which can be demonstrated on flat surfaces, just like level water. Can't make it more clearer than that. Anything you guys like to add?
Yeah, not really. There's nothing you can add to that.
You can demonstrate the same thing using a table.
Even a
like
floor.
You've done, you did that at your demonstration sheet showing the bolts. When you were at your eye level was level with it. Yeah, it disappeared. Oh my gosh, it must be curved. When actually, the equipment has to be straight and flat for it to work.
And I used an aluminium flat bar. They literally manufactured as flat as possible.
Yeah.
Is that right, Yoda? Yoda said, yeah. I don't know how true that is, but yeah, he shouldn't be.
Well, he does say a lot of stuff. That's all I'm going to say.
He does. He shouldn't be monetized anyway.
It's only about time it happens if the guy doesn't stop saying the disgusting stuff he says.
Yeah, I regret.
Surprised it took this long.
Yeah.
True.
But anyway, yeah. We've demonstrated it many times. It's done on flat surfaces. We showed it on part 1 last night. Allan Northstrand did an awesome demonstration on his floor. And you know what the globies are saying to him? Your floor is curved. And then my response is, well, then we have to go fire those incompetent
contractors.
They're all incompetent. Because they want to build a level passageway. It's amazing. It's the only argument they ever give as an excuse. No, your floor's not level. It's not.
Yeah, your floor's curved. Yeah, so that means Allan can't have like coffee tables and that in his house and stuff because they won't sit properly, will they?
No,
unless the lantern's elected the other side.
And the other argument they gave him is his camera was below the table. No, it wasn't. That's bullshit.
Wow.
I should do one of those demonstrations at my work here because we got a really, really long building. And they're just removing equipment out right now. And I'm just going to set my camera at close to the floor. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I have a Nikon P1000. So when something's
Ooh.
disappeared, and I can zoom out to bring it all back in again, right?
Would you be able to do
Nice.
it this way? Use your phone first,
Uh-huh.
show its limitations, and then you
Yep.
use your P1000.
Sure.
Because
Well,
then you literally
see, I've got a Samsung S23 Ultra.
that'll work fine.
Yeah. It's got pretty good
Yeah, it's quite good.
options
Yeah.
on it.
That's the phone I've got. That's the phone I've got, but it's not the Ultra. It's just the Samsung Galaxy S23. The number one.
Yeah, but it's just to show the difference in the computing power.
Yeah, of
See,
course.
you'll see how the difference the P1000 will make over the camera from the.
Oh, Samsung definitely, and the Samsung's quite good for a phone. Its pictures are quite good, but
Yeah.
obviously it ain't got the zooming capabilities or anything. But the HD wise, it's pretty good.
Definitely, but that would be awesome. I would love to see that.
Yeah, I'll see if I can. I'll have to wait till some equipment moves out of the way because the line of sight is blocked by some stuff right now.
Oh,
Once it's
man.
cleared out, then
So
I'll
Earth
have to
curve's
go.
in the way.
Yeah, no, equipment's in the way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Furthermore, my horizon distance should be about 1,314 feet, which is well beyond the 400 feet that we were at. So by all accounts, we should be seeing this entire light the whole time.
Uh-huh.
So if we go to some Earth curve calculators, you can see, again, by their mock-ups that there should be nothing hidden in this situation. It should be completely visible with a globe with an R radius of 3959 miles. Or something else occurs in our vision to cause this effect. Once again, just confirmation that the bulge height is extremely small in this situation and that the hidden height is nothing. So in this situation, this curve calculator says 0.3 millimeters is the bulge height, which is negligible.
I don't even think you're able to notice 0.03 bulge.
No.
I mean, how are you even going to notice a millimeter bulge?
yeah,
Never mind 0.03.
Trez difficult.
And I wouldn't even notice it.
Yeah, but I don't think your sense on your cameras are going to pick it up. It's just too fine. There's just too much information in that little spot.
Yeah,
of course.
And yet we have 2.5 inches are being obstructed in this situation. So another curve calculator. And again, notice that all of them model this as if you are looking down across a bulge, and that's why things disappears, because you are either leaning backwards and looking across a bulge in front of you, or your eyes are tilted down and the object is tilting away from you. That's how this is modeled. This is not how this works. So
Exactly. Hey, Ryan, good to see you, man.
What's up, guys?
Oh,
Hey.
how you doing, dude?
I'm good. I just got back from my little concert trip.
Awesome.
Nice.
Ryan brought the actual curve for us, guys.
He did.
So again, under no situation should we see this kind of obstruction. Some more Earth curve calculators. Again, 0 millimeters, 0 feet, 0.00 feet.
But you ignored refraction.
and you
Where's
ignore
the
gravity.
refraction? Oh man.
One of them gave 0.237 inches, so one of them gave at least a 0.23 quarter of an inch, but that doesn't matter. Again, we were 2.5 inches off the water, and so there was no refraction. You could not really say that this wasn't a refraction phenomenon if you were to go back and look here at these conditions. This is across 400 feet. It's crystal clear. The water is
calm.
not moving whatsoever, and the temperature is roughly the same between the water and the outside air. It was a fairly warm night, so
Okay.
I'm not too concerned that refraction would play almost any role in this whatsoever.
Yeah, but even if they gave refraction to there, you're not going to. It's gonna would be so negligible. It would literally do nothing. But it's very simple to understand. This shows the radius of the globe debunked. There's no such thing as a physical Earth curve. It's all just optical.
So being generous and negating the loss of our 0.5-inch observer height and granting 2.5 inches of drop basically as the midpoint of the flashlight, not the top even. What should the radius of Earth be if we're going to assume that bottom-up obstruction is always caused by curvature? So in other words, if I'm losing 2.5 inches across 400 feet, what kind of radius would that purport to, right? What kind of globe should I be standing on if bottom-up disappearance is caused by physical obstruction? So when you do the math for this using trigonometry, where our theta angle comes out to 0.0175 degrees, which is again close to 1 arc minute, and our height of about of 2.5 inches of drop, then you end up with 870 miles of R. So R is 870 miles in this case, which is well below the 3,959 miles that is purported to be. You can use an alternative.
Yeah, so did the Earth curve change? I mean, is that really what your radius is? 900 miles? Also note, the radius is a straight line, guys.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
The method using the 8-inch drop approximation for the first mile versus our 2.5-inch drop over our 410 feet, you can just analyze the ratios between the two, and you get to something about 4 times greater curve rate because our obstruction is just too much. And so, or it's about 1/4 the R basically. So as approximation again, but you get something where 990 miles. So we can just kind of, you can average some of these methods together, and you can say that roughly we should be standing on a globe that's about a radius of 900 miles. We're just going to use it as an approximation. So our new Earth circumference is 5,654 miles versus the expected 24,800 miles.
So in other words, I think Australia is larger than Earth now.
Yeah.
Insane.
Wow, it's mental. It is.
Guys, sorry, Russia doesn't exist because Russia is larger than Earth's circumference.
That's craziness.
It's insane.
So, what? Russia wrapped around the globe 2 times or something? Is that what it is? 3 times, 4 times?
Mm-hmm. But it just shows you can't really take observations and stuff like this and take the measurements and then say, oh, you see, therefore it's a globe. Because when you actually do it and you understand what's going on, you can see, no, your radius is going to keep on changing because it's a made-up fantasy. There is no radius. There is no globe. Based on your math for the globe, that light should be seen constantly, and it does bottom-up obstruction just like we would expect on a flat Earth, just like explained, and demonstrated constantly.
You can't have iron on a blade spheroid anyway. It's like you said, it keep changing. It would keep changing.
Exactly.
Later, guys. I got to head out. So have a good one.
Cheers,
All right,
Jeff,
dude.
for coming,
Hey,
man.
dude.
Nice.
For your day.
Yeah, you too.
So Earth is now 1/4 the size it should be, and it ends up being smaller than the moon, using the rationale that this is a physical curvature phenomenon.
Wow.
So you can believe that, or you can believe something else is responsible for this
Exactly.
bottom up first, or this bottom first disappearance phenomenon. So is information loss an everyday aspect of our visual horizons? Is it why is this occurring? Is it secondary to tangible surfaces? In other words, to our proximity to a tangible surface limits the amount of information that we're being allowed to process. So I just want you to focus on that. It may not be that the bottom of the objects disappear from being too small to see, but rather that the ground can only extend so far when we are close to it.
There we
We
go.
can only see so far along the ground.
This is what he's explaining, the limiting angle. The ground can only extend so far. The ground has the larger angle.
Yeah.
The refraction limit comes in when you have the object being observed in relation to the angle from the ground. And that's why you have the diffraction limit there. But yeah, the ground has the larger angle. Always.
It's not so much the object itself or the bottom of the boat itself getting too small. It's the fact that you can't see that far along the ground. But it still occupies 50% of your vision.
So we have seen how mirages, and how your proximity to a surface or compressed angles will obscure objects, bottom first on a flat plane, even if it were perfectly flat. Another way objects can become obscured bottom first on a flat plane is simply due to foreground objects, such as uneven ground, grass, waves, swells, etc.
So now we're at secondary to small obstructions within perspective. So within our floor example here, the last 3 golf balls are all on the same horizon line, and they no longer ascend within perspective. The floor tiles are a bit uneven in this case, and if there were an obstruction nearby, say 7 feet away, it would obscure the image further away at 130 feet. If we are beyond the horizon line at 95 feet in this example, we have lost a height equal to d tan theta, or 130 feet times the tangent of 1 arc minute, or 0.55 inches. The golf balls have a diameter of 1.6 inches, so our golf ball is reduced to 1.6 inches minus 0.5 equal to 1.13 inches, again, given an obstruction.
Also note that if you use the Fresnel lens here and it had lens effect, it can give the same effect that the balls aren't changing angular size. They could stay the same angular size, but show it going away and down into the distance.
Right.
Or given the amount of set. So because perspective ascends quickly and then tapers, an obstruction nearby would completely obscure the bottom of an object far away. Using similar triangles, and assuming we are at the portion of vision where this perspective plateau occurs, again, typically beyond 20 feet or so, we see that if there were an obstruction 30 feet away, near that second golf ball, or just 6 millimeters above the eye line, it would be enough to obscure the entire golf ball 130 feet away. So we can have summarized this effect by stating small obstructions in the foreground obstruct distant objects. So if that doesn't make sense, maybe it will here if I explain the diagram. So the red line from the eye to the purple line is again going to have a rapid ascent rate, an exponential ascent rate. And so we know that objects, even though they encroach upon that purple line, they don't actually start to set for quite a bit distance away. So that means that there's essentially a plateau or a table of an area or distance across which an obstruction along that point would completely obscure the object further down the road.
Yeah, that's when the angles come to acute. The information is going to be difficult to read, and that's when it does that. And that's why the information is difficult to read, yeah?
Yeah, angular resolution demonstration said, I made a good one on a running track, but the Globers say running tracks are curved. Wow, that's ridiculous. Running tracks curve laterally, that's it, not up and down. They don't
vertically, yeah.
curve up and down. Yeah, exactly.
This is insane. Hey, True Blood. Yeah, but that's all they have at the end of the day. They just have to say stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Because its angular size is going to get smaller. And so we calculated that for the amount of the golf ball that would be missing at 130 feet, just from diffraction, we would get roughly 0.13 inches of loss. And so, or excuse me, 0.55 inches of loss, and that would give us about a golf ball roughly 1.13 inches tall. And so that's why I've cut off the bottom of the golf ball in the diagram. So that's what we're looking at. And so in the bottom right-hand picture, I've kind of pointed to that golf ball that is 130 feet away. And so if we were to put an obstruction, let's say this blue triangle, and we were to put it in the nearby vision, let's say at 30 feet away, and I've kind of put that there on the lower right. I put the little blue triangle next to the 30-foot ball. But you can see how if I were to put that in line with the 130-foot golf ball, it would completely obscure that ball.
Exactly.
And we can calculate that ratio or what height would be required to obscure that distant object by just using similar triangles. And so that's what I've done.
And note, all this is done on flat surfaces, guys. He's literally doing trigonometry on a flat surface, more or less working out perspective, quote unquote. You know, the thing that McToon says is impossible to do?
Yeah.
And the sad thing is this has been presented to McToon numerous times. But what's his argument? Oh, no one wants to give me the math for flat Earth. No one wants to give it to me. Well, it's on screen. It's been on screen for 2 years already. Been presented to him many times. While he tries to strawman flat Earth using orthographic views and say it's perspective because the guy's a numbskull. He's a real moron. What I have to give shout out to Life is Short. He's really thorough in how he presented it and how he did all this math and stuff. Some people are just built to explain it in a mathematical sense. You know what I mean? I'm more on the visual side of things. I can try and explain it as good as I can visually, but mathematically, I think that's his strong suit, definitely. Hey, Angela, good to see you. Thank you for coming. Glad you can make it.
Done with that formula of solving for x. So in this case, x is 6 millimeters. So a 6 millimeter obstruction above the purple line completely obscures the entire golf ball 130 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
And so for the 1 centimeter, this is for the 1 centimeter observer height. So an obstruction of just 3 millimeters would obscure the entire bottom half of that golf ball. We would lose the bottom half of the golf ball. So keep in mind too from our formula before that for the 1 foot observer height, knowing that 0.05% is taken up within the lower 1/4 of vision, only 1.56 inches is going to be within that lower 1/4 of the visual field. And when we lowered our height down to 1 centimeter, again, 0.6 inches takes up 1/4 of the image. And I also want you to note here again how when we had a 1 foot observer height, the red orthogonal lines where the corners met extended off into a distance roughly 2,600 feet away. But
hey, Soft, good to see you, man. Glad you could make it. Always good to see you, man. Abdev says, Flavs hate questions and love censorship. Pity, because dialogue is healthy. You know, that's a lie, because last time I checked, you're in my chat right now. And I do know I have invited you many times to actually have conversations with us. Correct, guys?
Yeah. Yeah, he's just trolling all the time. He was trolling last night as well.
So why isn't Abdev coming to chat to us? The only censorship here is himself, because he's censoring himself to not talk.
Yeah.
What's up, Lou? That's a good one.
20 balls to play with. Oh,
well, I saw a funny meme this morning. It's this father and son standing, and the son asked the father, "Dad, why is my sister's name called Rose?" And he says, "Well, son, you see, your mom likes that name." He says, "Okay, thank you, Dad." And he says, "It's my pleasure, Spaceballs." Oh,
I heard one like that.
that's a good one.
That vanishing point essentially became a vanishing line and merged into that purple line.
If anybody
So
wants to
that
come
much
in, this
nearer
is the
to us.
link.
So,
Solve, I know you might want to come in, mate.
so here's some practical
Yeah,
examples.
there we go.
So given a 0.4 inch observer height with the 1 arc minute of resolution, what height of an obstruction 60 feet away would obscure 0.4 inches of light at the end of a hallway 360 feet away? So it's just the same thing. Now I'm using a flashlight and an obstruction instead of a golf ball and an obstruction. And so we find that just 1.7 millimeters would block the entire light 360 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing here. Now if I just stand up and I'm going to extend this to a further distance, given a 6-foot observer height with 1 arc minute of resolution, how big would a wave have to be 0.25 miles away to obstruct a 250-foot tall cruise ship 20 miles away? So it's the same relationship, 250 feet of cruise ship 20 miles away versus X amount of obstruction a quarter mile away, and you would get a wave of 3 feet. So a 3-foot wave just a quarter mile away that has encroached upon that purple line already because of the rapid ascent rate will obstruct the entire boat
Foreshortening.
to 20 miles away.
So
And a 1.5-foot wave, very reasonable, especially with choppy waters, would obstruct the lower half of that boat.
The peak of Mount Everest is 8,849 metres high and is 7,500 kilometres away from the UK. That means at that distance, the angular size of Mount Everest from the UK would be 0.06 degrees, so within the resolution limit of our eyes.
Oopsie.
As you have learned, Dave, that would only be true if Mount Everest was floating high in the sky.
Yeah, remember, Dave says, "Why don't we see bottom obstruction on a plane in the sky?" Yeah. We have Man11 Spirit and Luca that just joined. How you guys doing?
I'm good.
It's good to see you guys. So how's my favorite flat earther doing?
Who are you talking about? I don't know who you're talking to.
You answered.
I don't know who you're talking to.
I think he was talking to you, sir.
That can't be.
I hope you're doing well, you.
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing wonderful. Thank you.
Always happy to have you, man.
Without
thank you.
a surface to compress the
Except when you're
angles and
trolling.
with no atmosphere.
Sorry?
Except when you're trolling.
Well, okay, fair enough.
Conditions to obscure it as well. Those conditions will never exist, nor do they
Hey,
need
Gavin,
to for us
what's
to
up?
know that we can still see and communicate way beyond the globe's capabilities, as has been demonstrated numerous times.
And that's just the naked eye. Armed with the Nikon P1000, we should be able to see that thing clear as day. Now, I'm sure flat earthers will point out that we wouldn't be able to see that far because it wouldn't be clear as day.
Why would you be able to see it as clear as day? What the?
Because super eyesight. When you're a flat earther, you have super eyesight. Allegedly.
So last time I checked, is fog a thing? Or how about dust in the air?
191 spirits here, but he says
No, you can't chat. He
still
hasn't got
no.
a micro camera. Yeah, but it's fine.
Oh, right. I got you. I see. I thought he meant it just wasn't working for him. Got him.
Yeah, he can't talk. He hasn't got a mic or anything. But anyway, like I was saying, with Dave McKeegan, the guy is a total clown. He's a chuck nugget, as Mr. Sensible would say. There's such thing as fog. There's such thing as refraction. There's such thing as lensing. How about dust in the air? Smog? I mean, if it rains, does it impair your visibility?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Sov, what's up, man?
Going on, brother?
Glad to have you in.
Yo.
Were you showing Stinky Cash's video? Some more of that?
No, this is Taboo Conspiracy's cat, but
okay.
on his channel. But I think he's taken it from Stinky Cash, I think.
Yeah,
Or
because
no,
I had
who's that other guy?
Stinky Cash.
And
was on
Fear
my
the
show
Truth or
last-
something.
Yeah, he was on my show last night.
Awesome. Yeah, because I saw you were live this morning, but I was so busy, and then I couldn't get on. But was it a good show?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. We had our good friend Liam, aka Globe Lover Bob, aka Timothy. You remember the giggler?
Oh yeah, Timothy. Yeah.
Yeah. He come back again last night.
That guy.
He's irritating, but you got to admit it's entertaining.
Oh yeah. If he comes again, please tell him I want to challenge him to a debate, and you can moderate. How's that?
Oh, that ought to be
just for the fun.
Yeah,
just for the fun.
I'll definitely tell him. Yeah, I won't even hesitate. And I'm sure he'll be back. He seems to be one of those that's going to be
he's
like haunting me, kind of like how Rachie haunts you, and you know.
He's like the Luch. Sorry, Luch. He's like the Luch of my channel. Tom is the new Luch of your channel. Flat Earthers, they just don't want to admit it.
Yeah.
Hey, Luch. You agree with me?
Oh dear.
Oh, he's gone. Okay.
He's gone.
Oh, you finally scared him off.
But I might.
Yeah, I think
have...
he only came in because Vicky warned him he was on his last chance because she keeps timing out. So he probably just came in because of that, because he thought he didn't get timed out, but he thought he might be about.
Oh, someone's
getting Skype. How you doing, Lucian? How you doing? Vicky said he's a troll. Let's go and rearrange the deck chairs on the Titanic because there's no point.
No, that's not the reason I joined.
Yeah, probably was, dude.
Nah, it's not because I thought I was gonna get timed out.
That's how you used to do that in Ellement. You used to get timed out and then come in.
Yeah,
you can't say you didn't.
Not anymore.
Oh, you turned over a new leaf, have you?
Yeah. Have you noticed that? I've never joined anymore.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You used to be a glober, but now you're a flat earther that's in the closet. Of course I've noticed.
Yeah, I wanted to welcome you aboard, Lou.
Like, I've never joined when I was timed out. Now that you've told me that, you know.
No, I said that.
You want to get timed out?
I said that in chat. He wasn't timed out. No, I said that in chat. I said if he was timed out, I would have said something first. You weren't timed out, so I haven't said anything to you about it.
Yeah. I would have immediately left if you had told me I was timed out.
But you're here. Happy to have you guys. Are we gonna carry on listening to Dave McKeegan, not knowing things?
I gotta go now. Bye.
Okay.
I'll let us do.
Oh wait, Lou, before you go,
And
Friday he'll be great to have the chat.
Okay, yeah.
Yay! First fight between Lucha and Anthony, Sleeping Warrior, Friday night. Yeah.
A little discussion.
That's right.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, discussion.
What are they? They're going to have a discussion on Friday night on your show. Is
Yeah,
that what you said? Oh, okay.
about gravity.
Oh boy.
So, which platform are you going to be using?
We'll use the restream around now. So I'll
Oh, I
moderate,
like that.
I'll moderate, and you guys
Hmm.
can do your thing.
Maybe,
I like that.
maybe, the other one.
StreamYard.
Yeah, I think that one would work better.
Why? This one's much cleaner. I must say, I'm enjoying this restream. It's nice and clean. Easy to
You've
use.
changed the platform a few times now.
No, just always used
Yeah.
OBS or
Yeah.
StreamYard, and I've decided to use Restream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot less setting up, isn't it? When it's OBS, you've got a lot of setting up to do.
Yeah, OBS keeps. I like OBS, but it's just very unpredictable. It likes giving issues. So that's why I decided to start using StreamYard, and because I don't have the paid version of StreamYard, you reach your limit of what you can do. So I'm on StreamYard, on Restream now, and I must say, if I had to choose between StreamYard and Restream, unfortunately, I would take Restream.
Well,
yeah.
With stream, like, I think you can only access it if you have Safari, right?
No, you can't
No.
go anything.
Oh, no? Okay.
No, not at all.
It shouldn't be a problem, then.
Okay,
no,
but
I guess
Restream's
good
actually
to
good. You can stream to more than one platform at once, and anybody that joins in can stream to their platforms as well at the same time. You know what I mean? So it's good. It's good.
Is anyone using on Google right now?
Yeah, I'm on Chrome.
I'm on Chrome as well. Yeah.
Google Chrome. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
then
it's your Bible. It's your Bible, Google.
It shouldn't be a problem.
I like that though. Luke's got timed out for 10 seconds just for the sake of it.
Hey,
that's funny. It's past now. It passed about a minute ago.
You got 10 seconds.
Hey, Don, good to see you, man. Okay, you guys ready to go into the show?
Alright, see ya.
You're right, Don. Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah, dude.
You're gonna have to send me the link.
Yeah. Obviously, send it.
Stream. Okay.
Short man.
See ya.
Cheers.
That ought to be
It
good.
would be
Gravity.
clouds and bad weather between us and Everest.
Sorry, Sof?
I was going to say that ought to be good. Gravity. That's one of my favorite subjects. That one and the pressure, the gas pressure. Those are
Yeah,
my
it's
two
part of the
favorites.
argument that they're going to be discussing. So I think that's going to be an awesome discussion.
It will.
Oh, it'll be fun. It'll be
Looking
fun.
forward to that.
But the summit of Mount Everest is often above the clouds,
No,
and so are
really?
commercial aircraft at cruising altitude.
You seem as if you like to talk. I like to let people talk who like to talk. It makes it easier to find out how full of shit they are.
Are you full of shit?
Full of shit. Full of cocky poo-poo.
Do clouds form at different
Skabal.
heights on Mount Everest? It's above some cloud layers, but clouds can form at heights much higher than Mount Everest, especially around mountains where updrafts can push moisture. Clouds have layers. Different clouds are at different heights, basically. Uh-oh. McKeegan said wrong again. Uh-oh. Yep. Clouds are above airplanes too, Dave.
And yet I am still waiting to see a flat earther with a Nikon P1000 be able to show us Mount Everest from a plane over the UK.
That is.
Didn't Jay Tolan do that? Was it?
Probably, yeah. He did some long distance ones with infrared and that. Like nearly, what was it, 1,000 kilometers or something?
And I think there was a video from a person in a plane from Flat Earthers showing Mount Everest with its peak above the clouds and clouds above the plane. Something like that.
I know he showed something like that. I don't know if it was Everest, but he showed it quite a few observations like that, hasn't he?
That's really weird. But you see, this is the issue we have with Dave McKeegan. He talks a whole bunch of bullshit, and then he wants to sound like he really is making a point, but the point he's making is really just not actually doing anything to debunk what's being argued. He just says stuff. But he says it with such confidence, his gullible audience believes him.
Yeah.
It is a very specific
request,
Dave, and it would be instantly written off as something else, like a cloud, or as an error by the globe proponents and anti-flat earthers anyways. The fact of the matter is that we already have several observations from an airplane that debunks the globe.
You're gonna be
Jane
totally
Tolomidi, see, I told you.
folks. We'll be applying the principles of photogrammetry to the aerial infrared images that I've taken, and we'll be using professional software to extract the 3D models of our world, and the results are simply shocking.
Can I ask a question?
First, I'm gonna show.
Why is that horizon rising relative to eye level, Globies?
I wonder.
Why is it not curving? Why does it look flat?
Yep.
Really odd stuff. I thought, according to your Globie, you guys can see Earth curve from an airplane. And it's supposed to be below.
Show you
dropping away.
How it works. I took a trip from San Francisco to Portland, right past Mount Shasta, and here's a few clips.
This is Mount Shasta.
Yeah, I live right there.
Ah, do you live on the top there? Are you the guy making smoke signals?
No, but I do live south of that mountain, and I see it all the time from quite a distance, about 200 miles. You can see it.
I
can confirm that.
I was going to say, I have an interesting thing that happened to me when I was driving up north into California, right?
Yeah.
It was nighttime, so I couldn't see shit. It was dark as hell, overcast, and I'm just going along with my GPS, no need to get off this road. I just stay on it north. All of a sudden, I started getting this really weird feeling, like this weird vibration, man. I could not explain it. I didn't know what it was. It was really a weird type of feeling, like from out there, and I was like, I couldn't explain it. And then pretty soon I come along there, here's a sign, it says Mount Shasta with an arrow pointing off to the right. And I was like, oh, okay, that explains it, man. I was right near that. And it's been known by the natives as a magical place, actually as a portal, Mount Shasta.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, really weird, man.
So it gives, has it got like some kind of a magnetic
Supposedly
property?
there's a pyramid nearby too.
Yeah.
Really odd. Look how clear that is.
Brilliant.
Wow.
Stacy,
Pretty amazing.
shut up.
Look at that. Insane. Look at the music there. Just gonna mute the music a bit.
Capture of images with my camera, as you can see here, as I was flying past it, because I knew I wanted to try out this photogrammetry. The software I'll be using is called Metashape, and this is how it's used. Photogrammetry software lets you input a set of images, and then it processes them to create a sparse cloud of data points, and then you can process a dense cloud of points. Basically, it looks at the information in the images and how it's shifted horizontally and vertically to determine the depth. Also reads the information of the camera that's embedded in the images and determines the focal length in terms of pixels, etc. And thus it can determine the depth to the geometry.
That's quite cool.
And the results are simply incredible, folks. I mean, just look at this stuff, you know, with a few images. I have a 3D model here of Mount Shasta that I can rotate. Now on the back side of it, there's holes because there's no information there. But if you want to create a full 360 model, you got to take pictures all the way around. The neat thing about the processing step is the software can determine where the photos were taken from. As you saw, it shows the images floating in the air and oriented correctly. So that's incredible. It's all built in the geometry and the difference of the imagery. So now let's apply this amazing technology to some extremely flat areas that I've imaged before in infrared, and specifically let's look at Michigan.
Ooh.
Here's the flight path, the red line. I flew from Chicago to Buffalo this spring, and I was looking towards the north, and I took some really clear images, as you see right here. This area is usually covered in clouds, but this on this particular.
But look how flat that is, guys.
Yeah, yeah.
Look how flat that is. That's like insane.
Oh, idiot.
I mean, that definitely doesn't look like it's curving away.
Particular day, it was the western side was clear, as you can see here, and we can almost see Lake Michigan on the left curving around way out there. So we're really seeing about
what,
you know, over 200 miles out. But let's use this photogrammetry to determine the flatness. Is it really as flat as it appears?
There's someone for you guys to actually ban if you want. Your future employer.
Yeah, he's been banned already. Me and Gavin B did it at the same time. But Gavin B must have got it.
I got news for you, future employer. I think I'm going to be my own employer one day. Thank you very much.
It can be done.
I aspire to become my own employee. I want to work for myself when I've left this job. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Gavin got there before me this time. He was quite quick on that one because I got there quite quick.
Yeah, Jay Toler makes awesome stuff. Shout out to Jay
He
Toler.
does. The Globers always turn around and say that he's looking in the wrong direction. He's not in the right place. They always say it though, don't they?
They always
say it with any political information. Yeah.
But they always do that. They always got some excuse to say what's going on.
Of course.
So here I've imported all the images, and I already ran the first step, which determines the location of the images and creates the sparse tie points. Looks like about 7,000 or so points, and we can rotate and look at it. So the software probably looks at the prominent you know,
I'm gonna forward it a bit, okay, guys? Because we don't really need to see this. I agree.
No, that's fine.
Because he's just practically laying it out to show, look, guys, it shows it's flat 3D modeling. Look at that. Why is it not showing curve? Showing it flat. That's all he wants to show.
What is for actually looking at?
So in other words, all the data he's taken, he's laid it across, and it shows it out as a flat data model. So not curved. Okay.
The clouds on top. And down on the bottom we have to
the wind's really picking
determine
up.
the center of the image.
Excuse me. And yeah, it's just showing it doesn't fit the globe model.
Absolutely.
From a plane above.
Yeah.
Just boggles the mind.
Yep, the Earth is flat.
Or from a plane above the UK, it's about 3,500 miles across the Atlantic to reach New York, and a further 2,000 miles or so to reach San Francisco. That means from a plane above the UK at 35,000 feet, there is enough vertical angular resolution for the whole of America to be visible to the naked eye.
You're not going to make out 0.
Oh, wow.
043 degrees through thousands of miles of air and water vapor, Dave. Any foreground objects such as waves that are just 0.05 degrees will also block your view. Our visibility from a commercial jet is going to max out around 1,000 miles in good conditions, and that is using an infrared zoom camera. Even at those distances and heights, the globe is debunked. J-Tolan Media One has many more of these observations at his YouTube channel. You have to then force the claim that refraction somehow lifted up and stretched out miles upon miles from beyond the curve flat, and in such a way that it aligned seamlessly with the physical globe horizon, somehow giving the perfect illusion of a flat Earth. Complete nonsense that would never happen and cannot be accurately replicated or reproduced in real life. Recording that much land simply means you recorded that much land.
Exactly. Great point. Gesundheit, thank you. But it's very simple stuff. I mean, how can you not understand, Dave? You can't see forever. You have limitations. We give this type of example all the time. Just climb in a swimming pool, okay? Look to the other side of an Olympic swimming pool. You struggle to see it. Now, let's say you can maybe see it. Now, let's make that water a bit murky. Would you be able to see it now? No. Why? Same reason you can't see forever in the atmosphere. There's dust in the air. We get fog, we get water vapor, we get clouds. It's so simple. I don't understand how this guy doesn't get this.
It's the deception.
There we go.
See the halo and how that halo definitely appears to be cut off bottom first.
That's going to be it for now. If you've enjoyed this video and you haven't already done so, then please consider hitting the like and subscribe buttons, and then hopefully we'll see you in the next video.
Good luck.
Good luck. Yeah.
You're gonna need it.
A few weeks back, I was made aware of a channel called Don't Sphere the Truth, who's published some videos.
Shout out to Don't Sphere the Truth, by the way, guys. It's what you're busy watching. If you haven't already, do go subscribe to him.
I've put Jay Tolan's link in there.
Awesome.
I don't know if I've got Sphere the Truth.
But yeah, Don't Sphere the Truth. Very awesome stuff. Shout out to him. Do go and subscribe, guys.
Videos in response to mine, and one in particular seems to have grabbed people's attention regarding why objects at the horizon disappear bottom up. Quite a few people have commented about it on my videos. Jaren brought it up in a debate he was having with Fight the Flat Earth, and there seems to be a mirror of the video on what looks like one of...
Oh no, I think I saw a community post from Fight the Flat Earth saying he's going to be debating the president from the Flat Earth Society of Nigeria or something.
Wow. Huh.
Really? Flat Earth Society.
Why? That's my only question. Why?
Exactly. Why would you debate Flat Earth Society? They're not flat earthers. It's insane.
I get them bringing that up all the time, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Flat Earth Society? Who is that? I'm not in any society. What are you talking about? I'm a flat earther. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you want to talk to me, that'd be fine. But if you want to talk to those clowns to reify your position, then by all means, go right ahead. If that's what you have to do, if your position is so weak that it can't stand to any real scrutiny, then you don't have a position. If you have to lie to defend your position, you don't have a position. That's all there is to it.
Mm-hmm. It's very simple. That's why they misrepresent everything.
Mm-hmm.
Flat Earth, Dave's channeled, apparently schooling me on the topic. Now, I'm not going to cover all of Don't Fear the Truth's video in one go. Partly because it's almost an hour long, but...
And partly because it already exposed the lies and straw man arguments that you are about to bring forth. It's obvious why you only covered a few snippets of the video. You only dug yourself a larger hole and confirmed, without a doubt, the deceitful lengths that a so-called flat earth debunker must go through when trying to debunk observable reality.
Mainly because the original topic was about us seeing objects disappear from view, and yet Don't Fear the Truth has a section from Taboo Conspiracies talking all about radio signals. In particular, claims that the German Knickerbein system in World War II would only work on flat Earth, but I would argue it actually only makes sense on a globe. But that is an interesting topic that deserves its own explanation, so I'm going to do a separate video tackling that, because I don't want this video to be too long.
I'm sure whatever you are going to cook up will be full of fallacies, omitting facts and lies, as those tendencies do thrive in your debunking videos.
I'm being strategical in my counter-offensive.
Indeed, carefully omitting certain facts at the right times, while emphasizing false and irrelevant claims. You really do have...
Exactly. That's summary, brilliant summary of what Dave does. 100% agree. But you see, that's the only way these guys actually get somewhere with these, these anti-flat earthers, where they literally have to be deceptive. Because if they're not deceptive, they're not going to get anywhere. I mean, how else are you going to pull wool over gullible people's eyes?
Exactly.
To be strategic in not hitting those landmines of truth, don't you, Dave?
You could say it comes from my many years of playing World of Tanks, who, incidentally, are sponsoring this video.
World of Tanks is a free-to-play tanking game with a choice of...
They start by saying it's because of inferior mirages.
The result is a classic mirage, where objects appear below their actual position.
There we go. Demonstratable.
As the helicopter lands, you see its landing gear begin to vanish into the mirage. This is only one of a few different ways bottom-first obstruction occurs on our flat Earth.
Sequence is one of my favorite sequences with mirages.
Mm-hmm.
You can see it in the distance. You don't know what that is. It looks like a spaceship coming at you. Yeah. It's a black blob.
I mean, I find it very ironic that we are able to give all the reasons why we see bubble obstruction, and we're able to physically go and demonstrate them small scale, being able to explain them, back them up. But what do we get from the globe? I know, it's physical curve. Literally ignoring all optical effects. And then when you say, please demonstrate. No, we can't. The scale. Have you guys never heard of scale? Earth too big to see. But you claim boats go over the curve at 3 miles away. So much sense.
And this is on a highway in New Mexico. You have no idea what it is, and slowly it emerges. It still looks like a spaceship right there.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you get up here, you see it. It's a car with 2 trucks behind it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing, isn't it?
Inferior mirages can appear to distort objects. They're caused by the refraction of light.
It's great to see that you don't deny the fact that mirages will obscure objects from the bottom first, on a flat plane, just as the Smithsonian video demonstrated. I guess the only thing you can do from here is to lie and misrepresent then, To avoid this fact, let's see if he will.
When light travels through different density mediums, it bends. So if you shine a light into a pane of glass but on an angle, one side of the light beam hits the denser medium of the glass first, which drags the beam towards the glass. When it exits the glass, if one side exits first, it's in the less dense medium of air, while the other side is still in the more dense medium of glass, and so it bends again.
Like with many things, Dave, you are again wrong.
Now, as it happens, there are lots of wrong explanations out there. Lots. A very common explanation used to teach why light bends involves soldiers marching over firm ground, but then who encounter mud, although not all soldiers hit mud at the same time.
Nope.
The idea is simple. The first soldier who encounters the mud cannot move as quickly as the rest of the soldiers, so he slows down. Each soldier hits the mud in turn, resulting in a direction change. Eventually, the lines of soldiers are moving in a different direction at a different speed. This is how it's often taught. The problem is that this doesn't work. In fact, the soldiers will slow down, but their direction doesn't change.
Whoa.
They will continue to walk in the same direction, but with marching lines that are slanted compared to how they started. This explanation gets the angle of the lines of soldiers right, but not the direction of travel.
Yeah, because it's angle of incident. That's why Charles was nice an angle of incident to angle. That's it. So yeah, correction. Well done.
In fact, the only way that this explanation can be right is if the lines of soldiers are rigid. Then the first soldier hitting the mud puts a torque on the entire line, and that would work. The problem is that this torque means that the soldiers on the top of the screen move faster, which is to say that if they were light, this part of the beam of light would have to move faster than light. So this explanation doesn't work either. But when you send light in, you impose an electric field on it. That field makes the charges move around, which sets up a counterbalancing electric field from the charges. The result is that the electric field in the glass is lower than it is in air because of how the electric field from the glass is in the opposite direction. And this is the reason that the perpendicular electric field is lower in glass.
So it bends again.
However, that does not fit with what we observe for objects at the horizon.
However, that does not fit with what we observe for objects at the horizon.
Jerry, just remember, it's not a lie if you believe it.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. It's not a lie if you believe it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just mad that that was said because you were saying that come up last week, didn't it? Or was it earlier this week? No, last week. Sorry, it is then. It is the beginning of the week. Yeah, it did. It came up.
Examples of mirages that DST presents, there are a few common aspects. Firstly, there is a reflection of the object below it. The presence of the mirage bending the light from the bottom of the object up out of our sight also causes light that would have normally have fallen short of us to become visible, i.e. the top of the object or the sky, neither of which can be seen in the footage of the boat disappearing from view.
Neither of which can be seen in the footage of the boat disappearing from view.
That's bullshit. I think I can see the sky. I think I can see the ocean.
Yes.
Is that so? How about we watch more than a cherry-picked short clip? Let's watch the other part of this video you originally shown, where we can see the reflection of the boat, thus proving that it was a mirage and not Earth.
Sorry?
It says, wow, even AI knows what Dave's like.
Curvature, as you claim.
Now, for centuries, it's been an established fact that the reason ships sailing out to sea disappear from the bottom up is due to the curvature of Earth blocking our...
There, you can literally see the mirror effect. Notice, McKeegan, that this is why they, you know, what they came with the Flying Dutchman? Because of the infrared mirage. Because it looked like the boat is floating in the air. Because the sky is mirrored on the water. So it makes the horizon seem lower than it actually is. Because of the
All
mirroring.
sorts of effects.
Sorry?
I'm saying you get all sorts of blooming effects. You get mirroring. You get such a thing like St. Elmo's fire as well. That's an effect that makes things look like it's on fire. You know what I mean? It's all sorts of effects you can get because of weather and temperature and atmosphere. Well, atmo.
Yeah, mirroring's a real thing. And can I ask anybody, when it comes to reflections, which shape gives an actual proper reflection? Let's put it this way.
Which shape?
Shape, yeah. Is a sphere going to give that reflection like we see over the flat surface? Or is it a flat surface that gives that reflection we see?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mm.
It's not going to. It's not a sphere, that's for sure.
Yep.
Same as when you see reflections on water. If it was a sphere, it wouldn't be elongated. It'd all hump up at the apex and shorten.
You wouldn't see a reflection because the angle of incidence would be would be curving away from you. So
Yeah. No, I was talking about on top of a sphere. If there was water settled, water on top of a sphere, like say the reflection of the moon, it would be it would be humped. It would squidge up in the middle to the apex of the globe, sort of thing. And on a flat Earth, it elongates, and that's what we see.
Mhm.
It's elongated. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Not squished up.
Mhm.
There is a reflection of the object below it.
Neither of which can be seen in the footage of the boat disappearing from view.
Uh-oh. Literally, there it is.
Why should anyone trust you anymore, Dave? You blatantly lied and left out your original footage that I commented on, that clearly demonstrates that it was a mirage that is obscuring the boat. Just like with the cars, it will completely obscure the entirety of the boat as well. All with a clean, crisp horizon as you call it. No earth curvature present, nor required. As I pointed out, miraging is only one reason for obscuring objects. Bottom first on a flat plane. They can also create horizon lines for us as well, but simple perspective does that too. Again, no earth curve is required.
Yep.
Secondly, the heat haze. Mirages are caused by warm air rising from Earth's surface, and as it rises, it cools, so the refraction levels then decrease. This means that while the light from parts of the object closest to the
Refraction levels decrease. Did you just hear what he said? So because hot air rises and it cools, refraction levels decrease. Oh my word. No, McKeegan. No, it doesn't decrease. The thing is, heat rises, and because it's rising, it's pulling the light with it as the denser, colder air is taking the space now where the hot air is rising. And that's why it causes your earth curve. Refraction causes earth curve, not take it away. It literally does opposite of what he claims.
Yeah. More of that inversion. Everything they have is an inversion of reality. It's like you can take anything they say and just flip it around, and that's the truth. I mean, it's almost that bad.
But how does he say when it cools down, it takes away refraction? What poppycock? That's nonsense. The guy doesn't have a clue.
Now, to be fair, that's what is that. Just to be fair, that's the script that his handlers gave him. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
most amount of refraction, the light from higher parts is still travelling through warm air, but it's not warm enough to bend it completely out of sight. Instead, it causes a haze across the object, with it appearing to shimmer and distort. Just take the tail rotor of the helicopter, for example. When we see the helicopter flying normally, the tail boom is perfectly straight. As it comes into land, though, it now appears to be very highly distorted because of the heat haze.
You know why it's highly distorted? Yeah, because heat rises. And where is the mirroring taking place, Dave McKeegan? Where's the mirroring taking place? Is the mirroring taking place in the sky or on the surface? Which means it's horizontal.
Same can be seen with the aeroplanes coming in to land on the runway, and yet ships going over the horizon have nowhere near that amount of distortion.
Oh boy. So sometimes there is heat haze present and sometimes there isn't with miraging. That is a null point. In your example, it was proven conclusively that the boat was sailing into a mirage. It just had no heat haze. But to claim boats never experience nowhere near that amount of distortion is not only a lie. It is irrelevant. High distortion or low distortion, your boat example was still a mirage, not Earth curvature.
Thirdly, when we see parts of an object appearing to vanish into a mirage, they look like they're almost melting into the ground.
What the hell? Does this guy think before he talks? Well, he has to because it's scripted. I mean, does he actually proofread it first?
The feet of the helicopter stretch into the ground before vanishing. Same with the aeroplane's engines on the runway. The entire section that DST shows about cars on the road is how they distort into their miraged reflections. But again, we're not seeing that with these ships. There's a clearly defined break between the ship and the sea, and the ship isn't distorting.
What? There we go.
Wow. No, yeah, no distortion there at all. Flats. We're seeing things.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Wow, this guy.
This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.
And mirages.
It's just straight dishonesty, that's all. Straight up dishonesty.
Yes.
Hand-wave dismissal.
Only happen in certain conditions, which is why the most common examples of mirages are in places like the desert or on dark tarmac roads, which get incredibly hot.
Okay. I'm in the bush and I'm not in a desert and I see mirages all the time. And does he think you can't get mirages at other places other than the desert or on hot roads? You can get mirages on damn car roofs if you wanted to.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, a car can bake in the sun and you can get a mirage on there.
And are always shown happening on bright sunny days.
Incorrect, Dave. Mirages can occur in colder temperatures as well, and it can also still be cloudy outside. They are also common over water too. Again, they aren't the only reason either. You're really trying to cram in every excuse you can find, and while your audience will mindlessly eat it up, none of it gets past me. All you're showing us is that you're a master at bullshitting and gaslighting people. Congrats.
Every ship that we see sail out to sea eventually disappears from view, and always bottom first. And every ship returning appears top down.
Yeah, just like Life is Short demonstrated with the light showing bottom-up obstruction due to the angle being limited and the diffraction limit. And remember what I noted earlier? When you're looking at ships in the ocean, we have water vapor in the air, you got dust in the air, you got lensing effects, refraction, which makes it even more pronounced, which you say doesn't even exist.
Yeah.
Wow. I think we're going to end it there tonight, guys.
Yeah, man. Why not?
Oh, no.
Why not? Oh, that's quite quick, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is this still part of the same video? It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the same video.
Wow. Oh, yeah, of course. It's 2.5 hours long. Yeah, I mean, surely did Dave not see this? He's got to be lying about it. He must be able to see that there's effects on that. You know, he's got to. He's got to be being dishonest about this.
Oh yeah,
he's got to be. It's evident. I mean, anybody can see that, even if you're half blind.
I mean, even what's that other guy, that Go Tone or whatever? pitch lumen. Nathan likes to present it, where he did that 4 light experiment on that frozen lake. That's a frozen lake, and it's showing miraging. Yeah. That's really weird. But yeah.
Oh, right. What is that? What is that avatar, dude?
Yeah. I wanted to ask.
That
monster.
Okay, that is a shaped magnet that is used to make star in a jar.
Ah.
It's a bowl-shaped magnet that they use for an experiment that I talk about all the time, and it looks very much like the in the Capitol building. There's in the ceiling. There's a bunch of angels swirling around a hole in the ceiling. You'll notice that it looks very much like that. Isn't that weird?
Got you.
I think it's a secret,
Nice.
but I'm not telling anybody. But if you're curious, you can just ask me.
So, any closing statements?
No, I think I pretty much said what I've got to say. There's effects with depending on temperature and atmo and weather. Do you know what I mean? All that kind of stuff. There's certain kinds of effects, and it's obviously it's just denying it. They're just denying it. Because it's evident to see. You can't say that that's not mirroring. That there's no mirage in there. It's crazy. It's crazy. He simply said it. He said that there's no mirroring there. And it's evident. You can see the line of symmetry. Not that it's very symmetrical, but you know what I mean. The line where it starts, you know. But yeah, it's definitely a thing. It's a thing. Oh yeah, of course, yeah. I'll put. Is that the link for the show? No, I'll put the actual link for the show, Vicky, for tomorrow night. On His Word is Truth. That's the channel, but I've got the actual link for the show. Yeah, that's the link. Was this show tomorrow night on His Word is Truth?
Please go on to the show tomorrow night for Michael and them. I think it's going to be great. He's putting a link in now. And then, Sov, what's your topic for tonight on your channel?
I haven't really come up with a topic yet. I'm not really sure what I'm going to get into tonight. It'll be related, I can guarantee you. I really haven't put a whole lot of thought into it. We might get into a little bit more of perspective. I was thinking on covering this latest debate with PhD Tony and
yeah, I downloaded it to listen to it. I haven't listened to it yet.
It's hard, man. That guy, that PhD Tony guy, it looked like he was gonna stroke out as soon as the guy started giving his first, opening argument, right? I mean, I was like, I would use that myself because that's just the devil in me. I would say, that dude, I'm going to make him have a stroke. Watch. I mean, he looked like he was about to have a fit, and it just even started. His big go-to is his incredulity and his talking over people. That's his biggest thing that he's got. And he thinks that he's some kind of a god because he has a piece of paper from somebody. I mean, if you have to put that in your name, that's pretty freaking weak. I don't call myself gun-toting Dave. Although I am very knowledgeable about firearms and I own a lot of them, I don't call myself gun-toting Dave. That's not my identity. So that tells you a lot right there that academia is the crux of his existence.
But you see, that's all he does. He tries to hinge all his credibility on his papers, on having a PhD.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he tries to do. And at the end of the day, because that's all he has nothing. Because he's literally just appealing to his own authority. And that's the same issue I had with Phil Bell when he came to talk to me about thermodynamics. And he thought he's going to educate me on thermodynamics. At the end of the day, what was his argument? Oh, look, I see black stuff, therefore space.
Yeah.
It's not black stuff. Yeah.
Like, what?
Wow. Very interesting.
I tell you another.
I think that's.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, PJ. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, is that Sovereign's link, Vicky?
Is
I
that
think that's
what?
Sovereign's link.
Yeah, that's Sov's link.
Yeah. Sov's link she's put in, yeah, for this for tonight.
Yeah, so I'll probably go over some of that, as much of it as I can stand. But here's another thing you got to watch with them too. They want to conflate calculations with measurements. This is exactly what they've done with our maps. We have some parts that are measured and some parts that are calculated, and they mix them together and they don't work.
I actually wanted to make a video on. I wanted to show when you take soldiers and stuff, they usually take maps and they cut it out in sections to use it, because it's much more accurate that way to use it in sections than as a whole map.
Right.
Why is that, guys? But yeah, I want to say thank you for everybody for coming. I definitely got to go sleep now. I'll see you guys all tomorrow, and maybe Sov, I'll see you tomorrow morning. But you're always live when I'm busy exercising.
That's good. It's good workout stuff, man.
Yeah, especially if Tommy's there.
Mentally and physically.
Good night.
Okay. Just guys. And Jeff's just hopped
Hasta
into
la
some
vista,
line.
baby.
Hasta la vista, baby. Sorry, Jeff. We're just about to hop off.
Oh, darn.
So yeah, tomorrow night I'm off, so I'll see you guys all Wednesday evening for another epic show. Hopefully my power's on tomorrow night, that I'm able to actually do that review of the DVD part 2. Looking forward to that. Roger Ledwell, thank you for coming, man, for your $2 super chat. Just as Kilo says, the poll is wrong. Oh, I didn't even check what the poll ended on. Let me quickly just check before we end. Yeah, there is a poll. I just, because I can't see it on.
55 says no and 45 says yes.
Yeah, 110 votes. Yeah, the curve is just optical. Yes, 45%. No, 55%. Well, we've got a lot of cognitive dissonant globy trolls in. So.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
But yeah, thanks for the super chat, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate all of you guys. You guys rock. I'll see you guys all Wednesday. Remember, later on is Sovereign Soul's stream, and tomorrow evening is His Truth video.
His word is truth.
His word is truth. So guys, do go hop on there, and yeah, I'll see you guys all Wednesday.